Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Vamsha Suram, and in this video I want to explain my learnings on what is an API. So we'll go through how we interact with our day-to-day systems and then build on that and get to a definition of what is an API mean. And we'll go through different use cases of APIs and understand different specs like the rules of the APIs and look at different types of APIs out there. So coming to interaction, we all have electric systems in our house, like different long cables running in the walls of the house. So if you want to turn on any light, okay, what do? We reach out to some switchboard and turn it on, right? So we have some convention, like if it is down, then the light is on. If it is up, it is off. So basically, we have a kind of interface. Like this switchboard is the interface for for us to connect to the electric system of the house. So this is what exactly an interface mean. Like in the similar way, two computer systems generally they are built to design and they are built to talk to some other systems and all. And we find different architectures paradigms these computer systems built on. So there must be some kind of interface for them to connect and talk to each other. So I am just giving a day-to-day example like the switchboard and helping uh, bring the correlation between those two systems to you. So as you can see, this API is nothing but the switchboard, you can say. The switch, like it is the interface to connect between two systems. And API documentation will say what are the conventions. Is like if the switch is down, it is on, just like how we have our conventions, right? So in the similar way, we will have some API documentation for the computer systems API. So let me give one simple example. Like we'll start with a simple example. So we all know about linked list. So this is like a data structure, and think of it's like a program, and every program is meant to do something. And let's say we want to get the first item in the linked list, right? Okay, we want the data structure to retrieve us the first item. What do? We reach out to its interface, linked list dot get first. So when we build a linked list, we kind of create all these methods like get first, get last, something like that. So that is kind of interface to connect to the linked list, and internally it will do all the processing it needed to give you the first item. So what I want to summarize is basically an interface is where you want to connect to the program, just like how we interact via the switchboard with the electric power system. So let's take a bigger one, something like application Facebook. Now if you want to get the profile data of some person, okay, what do? We kind of hit the interface and give the essential uh, requirement, like what user details you want. You have to give some name, right? So something like that. So basically, what does an API mean? So to summarize, it's like you want the application to do some processing and give you something. Okay, you want the application to do some work for you, and that application is providing you some kind of interface to interact. So that is what an API means. And what are the uses of API? So it helps in connecting different systems together and building larger applications, um, to extend existing functionality. The other day I was using Google Maps, and uh, I could hire a cab. I could hire a Uber from there. So it kind of helps in existing the functionality and building bigger applications. So Uber is one example, right? Like it uses multiple sources like the maps of Google, location, your mobile GPS sensor to locate where you are, all this, like it is calling multiple systems, interacting with their interfaces and getting the data and trying to build functionality which you need. Okay, so we have a lot of APIs out there. Like based on the context, we kind of we can break them up, like operating system APIs, like you do internally within the operating system, and database APIs where you interact with the DB, remote APIs. Not much familiar with the remote APIs, but basically, if you want to um, execute some job on other machine within your local network or something like that, you will use remote APIs. And when you want to do over the internet, then that's where we come to web APIs. So you can broadly classify APIs based on the context they are using. uh, think of it's like a more of understanding purposes, so that the other person will know what you're talking about. When you say web API, okay, this guy is talking about some APIs which will talk over the internet. Let's move on to web APIs and discuss something more on this one. We all have, okay, now that we understand API is nothing but some kind of interface to interact with any application behind it. Okay, now that interface, to interact with that, there will be some convention, some rules around it, right? So that is where this API specs will come into picture. What does this mean? Like, so if you something like basically these are like rules to help with the proper communication between the systems. I'll give you one example. So let's say if I press a button and assuming it will turn on the light, uh, like we press the button assuming it will turn on the light, but what if it does the opposite way, right? So that is where you have to understand the rules of the interface. So when it comes to web APIs, we have multiple protocols and specs, like SOAP, REST, and GraphQL. Haven't worked on SOAP much, but what I can tell is REST is basically a representational state transfer. So what it means is like thinking of the data as a some kind of resources. So user is one resource, and so when you want some user details, you will ask on that particular resource, and these resources are exposed via a unique URL. And in case of GraphQL, basically it is like a big tree of resources. Think of it like that, and you can query across the resources. I should not say resources, but to give a proper understanding of how it can correlate with REST. That's what I'm saying. So basically, you can query across all the tables to get the data we want. Let's go through a REST API example. So here we see a curl request on particular URL. As you can see, this API is having some kind of rules like protocol, what protocol we are using, HTTPS or HTTP, and so api.github.com. So finally, these domains resolve to what? Some machines, and machines, and then internally server, some program. Finally, they end up to a program. So that is what. So we are trying to reach out to the program and ask, I want this user details, this resource details, and it will return the data, assuming you are properly authenticated, and it knows that it should return the data. In case of GraphQL, okay, like I mentioned, we have basically it's a big tree of information. So you will have one endpoint, um, like here we have GraphQL, and we make a query across all the data tables or resources we want. And in this query we will mention like, here I want only just go through the users table and find me these details. It's like that. So now you can build the query and scale it up to multiple resources. Had it been REST API, then you have to make a separate call, uh, which will hit a different endpoint on that particular resource. Like repos might be some other endpoint where you want to hit and get the information. Two API calls are like compact or made merged into one API call with the help of GraphQL. So coming to the types of APIs, like um, so we have kind of public APIs where we have some APIs exposed to people, assuming some APIs need authorization, some APIs need not. You can just make the call and get the data. Um, some APIs are private, like they are for internal purposes, like for example deleting the admin of code base. So these kind of APIs, these kind of functionalities cannot be exposed to outside world. So that is where this private APIs will come into picture. And then there is partner APIs where businesses collaborate together and expose, like it's somewhere in between private and public. Thank you guys for listening all this, and I would be very happy to take any feedback, any questions you have. You can follow me on my blog bigtimecoding.com, and if you would like to know any topic, I would be very happy to help you. And please subscribe for more interesting stuff. Thank you. Have a good day.